Okay. Assalamualaikum dan juga good morning pada semua. We meet again. We had a meeting just couple of minutes ago. Okay. Berkaitan dengan IDP 2, regarding IDP 2, which was a general briefing for IDP 2. Now kita start with our RC2 punya lectures lah. And I had a look at the AIMS system punya list of names dalam AIMS. So far I have the names recorded dalam AIMS adalah about 40 students. Okay? About 40 students taking up kita punya RC2. Okay? And itulah so far. So just as a reminder for those who are attending the class today, okay, but have not yet registered, please register as soon as possible. Okay. Section 02 SKAP 4333. Okay. Right. We have about berapa dah sekarang? About 33. Okay. About 33 participants. Okay, I'm using Zoom. So if you notice our discussion earlier on IDP, Zoom has a time limit of about 40 minutes. Okay. Selepas 40 minutes, it will cut off. Okay. So your screen will go blank. Okay. Screen jadi hitam. Just go blank. Okay. Take 10 minutes break. Okay. When the screen goes blank, kita break sekejap for about 10 minutes. And then rejoin balik, okay, for the second session using the same link and the same password yang sama. The same password, the same link. Rejoin balik the discussion ataupun the class after about 10 minutes punya break. Okay. That 10 minutes is for the Zoom to compile the video session, and I will later upload the video session in e-learning. If you notice just now, pagi tadi, this morning, our IDP punya briefing, I could not upload into e-learning because I'm not teaching IDP 2 in any of the sections, section 1, 2 ataupun 3. So in my e-learning punya menu, there is no IDP 2, and that is the reason why saya upload into YouTube. Hopefully semua dah dapat. Kita punya class rep dia Klana. Klana, are you here?
Ada, Doktor.
Okay. Klana dah share dia punya link, YouTube link?
Ada.
Okay. So you can access the discussion ataupun the briefing, the short briefing that we had earlier for IDP 2, you can access dia daripada YouTube. Saya pun tak tahu mana nak upload because I cannot upload dalam e-learning because I'm not teaching IDP 2. So in my menu, okay, my personal menu, IDP 2 tak appear. Yang appear SKAP 4333 dengan IDP 1. Okay. So that was the reason why I cannot upload dalam e-learning. So saya gunakan platform YouTube lah for IDP punya briefing. Okay. So for general briefing, apa-apa briefing yang general, I will upload dalam YouTube and I will share the link dengan Klana, and Klana will then be able to share dengan the rest of the class. In future lah, mana kalau ada any announcement yang related to all the 3 sections ataupun just to section number 1 saja atau section number 2 saja atau section number 3 saja, all the announcement will be uploaded into e-learning, yeah? Video. Okay, so that is just to recap balik what we have gone through earlier in the IDP 2 briefing. Right, today we are going into our first lecture, and if you have browsed into your e-learning, okay, I have uploaded quite a number of information dalam e-learning. Among the information that I have shared, nanti sekejap, mana ada? Kat sini ada tak? Okay, dashboard. Let's look at reka bentuk konkret. Right. So I'll new share. Okay. So this is among the information that I have uploaded into e-learning SKAB 4333 section 02. Yang pertama sekali is the set of notes. Okay. Notes related kepada pada RC2. Okay. We have basically 5 different topics in RC2. We will be covering staircase design pertama sekali, and then we'll go into frame analysis, and then kita akan move on kepada column design. Selepas column, we'll go into foundation, and finally we will be doing retaining wall design. So there are 5 different topics, of which one topic, frame analysis, is not related kepada reka bentuk, in the sense that tak ada design. Dalam tajuk frame analysis ni, there is no design relationship ataupun there is no design input. But this frame analysis ni, topik frame analysis yang ini, is actually to prepare the students untuk analyze a column to obtain bending moment and axial loads in columns. Because later on, we'll be doing column design. So when we come to column design, we need the bending moment acting on a column, dan juga of course the axial force. So to obtain the bending moment in columns, maka that is why kita introduce this frame analysis. Basically, it is to obtain bending moments in columns. Okay, kita fokus kepada bending moments in columns. Bending moment in columns. So that when we get into the column design punya topic, students will now be able to evaluate and to to evaluate what would be the bending moments in columns, okay, before kita design, because we need the bending moment to design columns. Okay, so selepas column design, then we'll move on kepada foundation design, and finally we'll be doing retaining wall design. So these are the 5 topics that will be covered insyaAllah dalam RC2. Okay, so the notes are already in e-learning. So browse into e-learning. Okay, I guess everyone dah ada your username dan juga password untuk e-learning. Okay, because e-learning ni is not only the platform untuk nota. I will also upload all the videos, including today. Okay, our video discussion for today into e-learning. Dan from here, you can download the video recordings of our classes in online classes, and you can have a look at that later on in your free time. Okay, just tengok balik apa yang disentuh dalam lectures. Okay. I noticed juga, I've noticed that in our class, the name list in the class, there are no international students. Am I right? Are there any international students in the class?
Yeah, doctor, this is Anisu Rahman. I am international student.
Oh, you are Anisu.
Yeah, we have 2%. Yeah, we have 2%.
2%
from international. Yeah, doctor.
Are you from Bangladesh?
Yes, doctor. I am from Bangladesh.
So you're online from Bangladesh now, is it?
No, doctor. I am in KDUJ.
You're in Skudai?
No, doctor. In UTM, KDUJ.
In PM?
KDUJ, doctor. In college KDUJ.
Oh, college.
KDUJ. Yeah.
Okay.
College Daton Zafar.
Okay. You're in
Yeah,
UTM Skudai, right?
Yeah, doctor. Yeah.
Another one of your international student. Who is the other international student?
He also from Bangladesh, doctor. Maybe he is not in the class now.
No, he's not in the class today. So
Yeah,
make sure you register your name into the AIMS, okay, for this section for your RC design. Okay. So anyway, back to what we were discussing earlier. We have about 5 topics for our design punya scope in RC, and hopefully I'll be able to cover all the topics. And now, apart from the notes, I've also uploaded. Okay, I've also uploaded a family of Eurocode that you would be referring to, starting from EC0, and then we have EC1, EC2. We also have the Malaysian standard. This will be used mainly for wind loading analysis. And finally, a summary of EC is just a summary of all the important references into a simple booklet. We used to have this distributed to students during our face-to-face tests, okay? A few years ago, I think more than 2 years ago, when we had face-to-face classes and we had tests, normal tests, examinations, final exams, and also tests. So this is actually a booklet that compiles all the relevant all the relevant equations and recommendations by Eurocode into a simple booklet. So we don't have to refer to Eurocode. It's just that we need to refer to the summary. So I've included that into the e-learning. Okay. And apart from that, there are several other additional references that would be very helpful in your RC design. Where the first thing is the detailing. Okay. So the detailing is a good reference, is the standard method of detailing. Okay. For all components, for beams, columns, slabs, foundations, pile caps, retaining walls, and all the relevant detailing techniques to even staircases pun ada. Okay. So it is a good reference for you, for your undergraduate, and also for your working experience nanti later on. Okay. Maybe during your intern previously, your last just a few months ago, okay, you had maybe some experience on site looking at reinforcement before concreting of beams, of columns, or slabs, and so on. So it gives an idea of the amount of complicated detailing that you might find on site. Okay, it is very much different from what we anticipate from our classroom exercises. So it is a good reference for you to carry even after you have finished your undergraduate and started your not to say postgraduate, your working life punya experience. Okay, we have also EC2 design manual. Again, comprehensive manual on the design of all elements. Okay, dan juga design manual, again design manual by the Institute of Structural Engineers, also a very helpful reference. So all these are very good references that you can download and keep it with you, okay, throughout your working experience later on, right? And then one important upload is that there is a group project. Now this group project is to be done, to be carried out in a group, okay? I'm not so sure how many students in this section, maybe 40 plus, okay, 42, 43, 44, okay, students in the class. So I would be expecting around maybe 10 to 12 groups with 3 to 4 students per group. Okay, so you choose your own groups and give your names kepada Kelana, okay, Muhammad Kelana, which is the class representative, and Muhammad Kelana will then relay kepada saya the list of students, ataupun we already have our WhatsApp group untuk RC section 2. So Kelana can start off. Okay, group number 1 ada 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can just fill in your names. Okay, a maximum of approximately 4 students per group. Now the workload will be equal in a sense that each student will need to design one column and one foundation. So if there are three students per group, or even 4 students per group, the workload will be equal, in the sense that each student will need to design one column and one foundation. Okay, so the amount of work will be the same. So if you have 4 students ataupun 3 students, okay, the balance of work is similar for each student. So the amount of work will be similar. Okay, I'll talk on this later on, maybe in one of our lectures. We will I will allocate a certain 1 or 2 hours for discussion about the group project. It is basically a 2-story building, if I'm not mistaken. It is a school building. Okay, you can download this group project later on and have a look at it. And in the meantime, choose your group members, okay, with a maximum of 4 students per group. Right. We'll come to this later on when when I allocate maybe 1 or 2 hours for our group project. Now, assignment. Okay, in the e-learning, I've uploaded about 7 different assignments. Now, don't be stressed out because you don't need to submit all. Okay, you only need to submit any 2 assignments sahaja for each individual, for each student, any 2 assignments. So you can choose either a staircase assignment ataupun a foundation assignment later on, ataupun a column assignment, but you only need to submit only 2 out of the 7 topics, okay, for submission. I will open up a link later on. Again, for the group project, I will open up a link for your progress report, and for the assignment, for you to submit the assignment. 2 separate links for you to submit. One link is for your assignment submission, and another link for your group project submission. Okay, so remember what I've said. There are 7 assignments, but you only need to submit any 2 assignments sahaja. Okay, not all the 7, not all 7. But I would recommend that you go through all the 7 and have your group discussion. Okay, because all the questions dalam assignment ni, these are past year questions. Some other test or final exam. So it will be a good practice, okay, a good working punya exercise if you can attempt all the questions as a group, secara kumpulan. But you only need to submit individually only 2 of the 7 assignments. But I would recommend that you go through all the 7, have a look at all the questions, because all the questions are questions that has been compiled from previous tests and final exam questions. So it is, sometimes the test would be similar, quite similar kepada the past year question. So you have an advantage di situ. So that's about the information that I have shared dalam e-learning. One is on the assignment, a list of 7 assignments. But you only need to submit any 2 of the 7 assignments. The group project is also uploaded, so you can download anytime. Have a look at the project. It is a 2-story building, school building. Okay. Some additional references on reinforced concrete design, which would be very helpful, not just during the course of this SKAP 4333, but you can maintain these references masa kerja nanti, right? And of course, we have this Eurocode references dan juga the notes. Okay, these are the notes, the 5 different topics. Any questions so far? Any question? Ada soalan apa-apa? We have about 40 participants.
Clear, doctor, clear.
All right, good. Okay, thank you, Gary. All right, now kita go just before kita go into staircase design. Maybe just to touch a bit on the what I would say, the evaluation of the of this RC2. So for your RC2, okay, for your RC2, the evaluation would comprise of about 50% coming from your coursework, and the remaining 50% would be from your final exams. So what we would have, what we usually have is for your coursework to be, we have test number 1. Okay, we will have test number. In fact, we will have 2 ujian. Okay? Test number 1 and we'll have test number 2. I haven't yet fixed the date. Hopefully by this week, I'll come out with the dates for the test number 1 and test number 2. Because the test 1 and test 2 will be conducted concurrently with all 3 sections. Okay, section 1, 2, and section 3 will be, the test will be conducted concurrently. The same date, the same time. Okay? It will be online. It will be open book test. So test number 1 will carry about 15%. Okay? Similar, I think quite similar kepada RC1 dulu. About 15% will contribute to your coursework. And similarly for test number 2, you will have about 15% of your results from test number 2. 15% of that will contribute to your coursework. Okay, so test number 1 and test number 2. Test number 1 usually selepas topic of frame analysis. So you would expect that for test number 1, it would cover staircase design. Okay, staircase dan juga frame plus frame analysis. So this would be the 2 topics that would be in test number 1, meaning that you will have 2 questions. Satu question will be on staircase design, reka bentuk tangga, and another question will be on the frame analysis. And for test number 2, it would cover usually another 2 topics. There would be the column design plus foundation. Okay. Foundation. So again, there will be 2 questions. One question would be on column design. For the column design, we have actually short and slender column. Okay, non-slender and slender columns for column design. So it covers both slender dan juga non-slender column design. And for foundation pun, we have shallow dengan deep foundation. Okay, shallow foundation referring kepada our normal single column, single pad foundation, ataupun 2 columns on a combined footing. Okay. Maybe some of you had some experience during your intern, tengok di tapak ataupun on your side, you had the experience of having a look at different types of foundation. Okay. These are termed sebagai shallow foundation because it's not using any piles. We will be looking into deep foundation juga, where we will be designing the pile caps. Okay, the pile caps, that these are the concrete component that binds all the piles into a single pile group. Okay, so foundation we will be looking at shallow dan juga deep foundation involving piles. Column will be looking at slender column design dan juga non-slender ataupun short column design. So test number 2 will have 2 questions, one on column dan juga one on foundation. Now the remaining topic for this carries about 15%. Apart from these 2, test 1 and test 2, you will have your project work. Okay, your project work will be your group project work. Okay, so your project work will be evaluated on a group basis, and this would also contribute another 15%. So you already have about 45% di sini. And finally, of course, the assignment that you need to submit, the 2 assignments out of the 7, okay, any 2 assignment, maka we would, because effort in doing the assignment and submitting the assignment, there will be 5% given, 5% ataupun 5 marks given kepada submission of your assignment. Okay, so for assignment ASS ke ASA? Okay, so for your assignment, it would contribute another 5%. So all in all, you will have your coursework, if we total up everything, it will be around 50%. Okay? So 50% of your marks will come from your coursework, and the coursework is then divided kepada test number 1 and test number 2 with 15% each. Your project work, which is evaluated on a group basis, will also contribute another 15%. And finally, your assignment will contribute 5%. So all in all, you have your total coursework marks ataupun carry marks will be around 50%. Okay, so the 50% is now tabulated as shown, coming from test number 1, test number 2, project dan juga assignment work. Any question? Ada soalan? Tak ada? Okay. So this is basically the breakdown of the RC2 coursework punya evaluation. In terms of topics, as I've mentioned earlier, there will be 5 different topics. Okay, 5 different topics where we will start off with staircase design dulu. Okay, staircase. Kemudian we will have our frame analysis. Okay. Frame analysis topic. Selepas frame, we will have foundation. Column. Okay. Column design. We will also have foundation design. Okay. Dan finally, we will end up with the retaining wall design. Okay. Retaining wall. So this will be the 5 different topics that would be that would cover the whole of the RC2 retaining wall. Okay, so just briefly, that would be the overall structure of kita punya RC2. Okay, so there is a direct continuation sebenarnya from RC1, because in RC1 you've done the very basic fundamental design of rectangular section, beams of rectangular section. Of course, there is flange beams, T-beams, ataupun L-beams, and so on. But the most basic fundamental design is your rectangular sections. And that rectangular section design will be reapplied, okay, reapplied in almost all the topics. Okay? For example, if we are looking at the staircase design, for the staircase, design, okay, for the foundation design, for the retaining wall design, okay, these 3 design topics will rely heavily on the equations that you have gone through during your RC1 for rectangular sections, beams in rectangular section. Okay. So the staircases, retaining walls, and foundations, the behavior of these components is very much similar kepada beam behavior, kepada rectangular section beam behavior, and because of that, maka a lot of the equations related kepada reinforcement design, related kepada doubly reinforced ataupun singly reinforced, all those parameters will be referred to similar to a normal rectangular section. By saying the behavior dia sama ni, what I mean is that for a simple beam, okay, let's say for a typical beam, we have, katakan, this is our beam, okay. We have 2 conditions for the beam sebenarnya. Mana-mana beam pun, there is always 2 conditions, 2 basic conditions. One is the condition where the beam is going over a support. Okay? It's crossing over a support, meaning due to loading yang berlaku, due to loadings on the beam itself, okay, loadings pada beam, and the beam is crossing over a support, maka the beam will bend in a manner something yang which is macam mana nak kata, macam ni lah, something macam ni. Okay. So the beam will behave in a concave punya apa nama dia punya curvature. The curvature is something like this. And when it goes over a support, maka what we have is we have a tension zone above, okay, and a compression zone below. Now, if we look at a normal rectangular section, okay, normal rectangular section, normal rectangular beam, then it means that pada support condition, our reinforcement would be on the top side. This would be our tension reinforcement, okay, meaning that we will have our reinforcement yang ini lah, on the top side of the beam over support. This is one condition where it is bending dalam bentuk yang what I'm showing in this schematic ni lah. This is the shape of the bending ataupun the curvature of the beam going over support. This is under one condition. Another condition, the same beam, okay, will be under a condition where it is between two supports. Between two supports dan berlaku sagging. What I'm saying, what I mean is that between two supports, another condition is where a beam is going over dua supports, and again due to loading, okay, due to loading exerted pada the beams, okay, then the curvature of the beam will then be something of this nature. Okay, it will be something yang macam curving in the opposite direction. Okay? So this is the curvature of the beam when it is in between two supports. These are the two conditions basically. Dalam reinforced concrete, we have these two conditions. We have a condition going over the support where we have tension above and compression below, and another condition is where it is between two supports, and due to loading, the curvature is something macam ni, where we have tension at the bottom and compression at the top in such a way that kalau kita katakan this is our typical cross section of the beam, then our reinforcement will then be on the bottom side of the section where it is on the tension side. This is the reinforcement, and this is on the compression side. And again, this would indicate that we need to provide reinforcement on the bottom side. So this behavior of tension dengan compression ni over supports dan in between supports ni, this is the basic behavior that will be exhibited dalam staircase design, dalam foundation design, dalam retaining wall design. You will exhibit this sort of behavior. Okay? Kelakonan dia sama. Okay? For example, macam let's say foundation. Okay? A typical foundation, normal foundation, we have our columns di sini. We have our basic column, and then kita ada kita punya foundation, okay, foundation below. This is our foundation. We have our axial force coming in, okay. Our axial force coming in on the foundation, and due to the axial force, okay, the foundation itself will behave something yang macam ni. It will behave something like a beam. It behaves going upwards, melentur ke atas, because due to this axial load, there will be stresses below the foundation, stresses, tegasan, coming from the soil as a reaction to the load coming from above, and these stresses would cause the foundation to bend. Very similar kepada what we see in these two conditions, either bending over supports ataupun bending in between supports, okay, where we have tension and compression. And because of this, this is very similar kepada this case where tension is now at the bottom part of the foundation. This is now tension, and this will be compression, and therefore logicnya is that we will provide reinforcement at the tension side. So reinforcement would then be provided pada tension side. So this sort of behavior, okay, where it is bending and we have one side is tension, one side is compression dan sebagainya. So this behavior is actually similar kepada a beam behavior, continuous beam ataupun a simply supported beam. And that is the reason why the design itself will be heavily dependent kepada what you have gone through earlier. Okay, evaluation of the moment capacity to determine whether it's singly ataupun doubly reinforced, 0.167, FCK BD squared. Okay, FCK BD squared. First, kita evaluate what is the capacity of the section, the moment capacity. If the moment applied is greater than the capacity of the section, then it is doubly reinforced. If not, then it is singly reinforced. And then if it is singly reinforced, maka dapatlah reinforcement dia AS bersamaan dengan moment divided by stresses 0.87 Fy times Z. Okay, so it all boils down ataupun it all goes down kepada evaluation of this moment. Once we determine what is the moment di sini, critical section, contohnya for foundation, this would be the critical section. Okay, the interface between column dengan foundation, this would be the critical section for moment. Once we determine what is the bending moment di sini, okay, what is the moment di sini, then we can determine what would be the reinforcement required. Similarly, for retaining wall pun sama. We need to determine the moment because it is bending, similar kepada beam. So determine what is the bending moment, from there kita dapat reinforcement. Untuk staircase pun sama. We determine what is the bending moment for staircase, and from there kita dapat the reinforcement. Because it is behaving similar kepada beam, there is a bending moment term sebagai contohnya lah, for example, we have a negative bending moment over support, okay, negative, and we have a positive bending moment in between support, a sagging dan juga a hogging bending moment. So these are all basic fundamentals that you have gone through earlier dalam RC1. So a lot of this will be applied balik dalam RC2, except for column design saja, where column is totally a different case. It is not related kepada beam anymore. It does not behave similar kepada beam. Okay? A column is totally on its own. We will be designing columns later on, where we will be using a lot of what is termed sebagai column design chart. We'll be using charts to determine the reinforcement required due to bending, but totally different from the behavior of beams, basic behavior of beams. But for as far as staircase, foundation, even pile caps, okay, dan juga retaining walls, these three components behave very similar kepada beams. There is bending, and that bending will cause, once we determine what is the bending moment value, then kita boleh dapatkan the reinforcement required. Okay, so a lot of this design process ataupun design procedure will fall back balik kepada RC1. So it would be a good idea if you would always tengok balik nota-nota untuk RC1 dulu, previous RC1, okay, because a lot of that will be shared balik, will be referring to the same requirements untuk bending, requirements untuk shear, requirements for cracking dan deflection. These are all the basic requirements that will be referring back kepada RC1. Okay, so we are less than 1 minute. We'll take a break. Okay, we'll take a break, then from there about 10 minutes break, and rejoin using the same extension ataupun the same link with the same password. Okay, so we'll take a break. We have about 41 participants. Okay, take a break for about 10 minutes and rejoin for the second session. Okay. Alright, so saya end dulu sekejap. Just take a break everyone, about 10 minutes.